The men's hockey team renews its rivalry with Minnesota this weekend, hosting the Golden Gophers on Friday and Saturday at the Kohl Center. Friday night's game starts at 8 p.m. on Big Ten Network, and Saturday is a 7 p.m. start on the American Sports Network. Head coach Mike Eaves is here and will take questions. Dennis?
With the Big Ten, you have a lot of evolving rivalries. Minnesota is a holdover rivalry in your conference. Does that carry any extra juice with your guys?
Well, I think having a handful of guys from that state and the history, this weekend is always a little bit more fun. I think that no matter what the records are, that everybody gets a little excited about this weekend, and it always produces some really fun hockey.
I know you're concentrating on your team, but how would you describe Big Ten hockey this season as you kind of look over the 6 teams and some of the results that have been coming forth?
Well, I think we've talked about this a little bit, Brian, the fact that game to game, night to night, I think that what makes it very interesting is that I think teams feel that they can win the game that they're currently looking at, that every team has that ability to do that. We certainly feel that. I think other teams feel that, and you look at the record, and we have not been on the W side as much as we've liked, but we've been there knocking and certainly have been doing good things and moving forward, and I still think that we feel that way, that we can go into any game, and with what we're doing and how we're playing, if we can get that again, we have a chance to win some of these games.
Mike, what makes for a good rivalry? I would think there's got to be a little bit of pain. There's probably got to be a little bit of respect. There's got to be some dislike. What in your mind constitutes a good rivalry?
I think all those things you mentioned for sure, and I think history is a part of that. I think the rivalry thing has been, I don't want to say watered down, but some form of that verbiage, in that these kids know each other so much better than they used to. I mean, they play all summer, and they discover that, hey, he's not a bad guy. And before, when you didn't play against each other in the summertime, there was this, he was an unknown factor, and the things you heard, you kind of got a distaste for them. But it's not at the level that it once was, but it's still Minnesota, and the history there still dictates that rivalry to a degree.
I get my previous question, I guess what I was wondering, the scores that we've seen in Big Ten hockey. It seems like we've seen some fire wagon hockey in this league this year. Would you agree with that?
More so than other years, for sure. And you don't know if that's a reflection on goaltending, play away from the puck, offensive people that we have in the league now. I don't know what the current reason is that, but your observation is right. There's been a lot of high scores.
What did you think of the play of Matt Jerusik this past weekend?
Well, having chatted with him after the game, there was parts of this weekend he was brilliant, and there was parts of this weekend that he would like to have back. I think if you talk to him in a one-on-one situation, though, especially on Friday night, those goals that were in were direct shots, and in talking with him, he says, I should have had some of those. And he looked at him on Saturday, which is very unusual for a goalie, because you usually don't want to talk about those type of things. You don't want to get inside his head because it's such a unique position. But he's of the mindset, I want to know, I want to learn, I want to get better. So he looked at them, and actually in comparing it to some of his saves on Saturday, he did improve on his technique in those very same situations. So to answer your question concisely, he was brilliant at times, and there's other ones that he would like to have back.
Eddie Whitko had a couple of points this weekend. It's been a while for him. Are you going to allow him to join the rush a little bit more and try to create offensively, Mike?
He got 2 points. He got back-to-back points in games, which has probably never happened in his career. But we joke about it as a staff. He actually leads our team with scoring chances shorthanded. He just seems to find himself in a position where he's got the puck and going up ice with it. But very unusual stat for Eddie to be leading our team in shorthanded chances.
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Mike.